Hi, good morning everyone. Glad to be here today. I will just say a couple of words about where we are with the mediation in Yemen. And as I just briefed the Council, recent developments are bringing Yemen to crossroads once again. As you must have followed, Yemen's involvement in the regional escalation just got more concerning with Ansar Allah's drone attack against Tel Aviv last Thursday and Israel's attack on Hodeidah on Saturday. Targeting of ships in the Red Sea continues, and UK and US airstrikes against targets in Yemen continue as well. On the domestic front, the parties informed me last night that they reached an agreement on 4 points to de-escalate the months-long standoff on the banking sector and on the operation of Yemeni airways. Similar to the commitments they made in December, the understanding they reached last night also underlines the commitments to convene and engage in dialogue. I told the Council that we have been here before and that previous opportunities have slipped in the past because they never translated into structured dialogue on underlying issues. I, of course, accepted to provide the parties with all the support they asked for to implement the measures they chose for themselves, and I fully expect them to translate their stated commitment to de-escalation in accepting my office's invitation for dialogue aimed at addressing the economic issues, including the need for monetary policy coordination and progressing towards a unified central bank and currency, and guarantees to ensure the independence of the central bank from political interference. Stopgap measures could serve as band-aids, but being serious about building an economy that benefits all Yemenis means that the parties have also to engage on underlying longer-term issues. It might sound futile to stand here time and again and to say the same thing over and over, but it is not. National, regional, and international stakeholders are making conscious choices. Yemen and Yemenis are the ones who pay the price for these choices, and it doesn't have to be that way. Dialogue is always available, and we have been working relentlessly to bring the parties together to resolve the urgent economic issues at stake and to sustain the secure newly opened roads and coordinate the opening of new ones, to release conflict-related detainees on all sides, and to manage front lines and make sure that Yemen doesn't slip back into large-scale violence. Convening as per our invitations doesn't take away from the commitments they made to the roadmap or to the understanding they reached last night. They must meet and negotiate in good faith to ensure forward movement and successful implementation of the measures they agreed, and to reverse the escalatory course they have taken in recent months quickly. For this to happen, we need an environment conducive to constructive dialogue, and this includes regional de-escalation, concerted regional and international support to the path of peaceful mediation. This also means a safer operational environment where UN and civil society personnel can work without fear of being targeted. And it has been almost 2 months since the campaign of arbitrary detentions that include 13 UN personnel and dozens from humanitarian and civil society organizations were taken by Ansar Allah, never to be heard from since. It is unacceptable, and they must be released immediately and unconditionally. Thank you very much, and I will now take a couple of questions.
Thanks very much.
Thank you so much for your briefing. Abdul Hamid Sayam from the Arabic daily Al-Quds Al-Arabi. I heard the word Houthi terrorist quite a number of times during the briefing by a number of delegates. Does the UN share this classification of the Houthis as terrorists?
No, the Houthis, the United Nations is not engaging in such classification. We engage with the Yemeni parties, and of which the Houthis are one of the, or the Ansar Allah is being seen as one of the parties that we engage with, and that is how this is being done.
And my second question, the US and the UK comes all the way from overseas to assist Israel and bombard Yemeni targets. Why, when the Yemeni try to help their Palestinian brothers and sisters, then they are condemned.
I think you highlight one issue of concern from our end, and without entering into the suffering and the necessity to see the conflict in Palestine being resolved and the situation in Gaza come to a peaceful end and a ceasefire being established there, without entering into that issue, focusing on the matter that I work with, which is Yemen. We have seen since in a gradual development in Yemen where the conflict that we are trying and that the United Nations has been trying to assist the Yemenis in resolving has gradually been drawn into the regional destabilization that we're seeing in the region right now. And that is not helpful if we want to see a solution to the conflict in Yemen, because it adds an additional layer to the solution making. So seeing the Yemen become gradually part of the regional destabilization that we're seeing is something that I want to avoid. And there, I think, continuous engagement with the parties in terms of making sure that they also understand their own responsibilities in prioritizing Yemen and making sure that Yemen itself needs to be addressed as a matter of priority is going to continue to be my matter of focus. That doesn't mean that the principal positions of the United Nations are not true all at once. The United Nations will still remain very much in favor of a ceasefire in Gaza and has been so from the very onset. The United Nations will also not accept targeting of civilians or civilian infrastructure, regardless if they are at sea or if they are at land, and regardless of where they are. And the United Nations is also very much, from a principled point of view, going to continue to work for a long-term and a just peace in Yemen. Thanks. Thank you very much.